Okay, I think we're good. All right. So this is Fighting with My Friends, officially episode number 1.
Episode 1.
Crazy Scott's here. We're going to talk about Royal Rumble coming up. In the lead up to talking about this, we already had some interesting thoughts about some things we had to save for
don't want
for the actual show. So the first thing I want to ask you about the new Universal Championship match at Royal Rumble. Obviously,
right?
Yeah, no, it's different.
You're jumping right into this too. You're going we're going big right away.
Well, yeah, I mean, we might as well, because I feel like we're still a whole episode of Raw and SmackDown each away from figuring out exactly who's going to be involved in the Royal Rumble, and there's always some surprises.
Yeah, we might see some shakeup even
right
Monday. So we might see something on Tuesday that throws a wrench in everything. So, but man, I was just totally shocked. You know, I think the way that they got Braun out and you know, the whole flipping McMahon's car, and you know, you messing with McMahon, classic.
Sure,
you gotta love it, but kind of cheesy the way that McMahon is so bad on camera.
These days, he's really weird.
He kind of ruins a bit, even though he's the one approving the bit and making it.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with like taking Braun out last second, I totally did not see that coming. Nowhere would I have predicted that to happen.
At first I thought that he must still be hurt, whichever elbow it is. You know what I mean? I thought he must still be hurt. But then I read somewhere that Brock actually hand-selected Finn Balor for this match. This is the match Brock wants to do. So that probably means that Brock's going to come away still the champion. Finn's probably going to lose. We're probably not going to see the Demon.
It didn't matter if it was Braun. It didn't matter if it was Finn. It didn't matter if it was John Cena. It didn't matter who you put in front of him.
Right.
We all know, and as much as we hate it, we're all wrestling fans watching this. It's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He's Brock Lesnar, and he's going to be that champ until Brock Lesnar doesn't want to be that champ anymore. And he likes his job. He likes the part-time sitting on his couch all week or all month. You know, he's only. It makes for bad TV. But I get it. I get why he's doing it, and I think the people that are hurt by it are us. But we get some good matches, I guess, every now and again. I mean, I don't know. I don't
think he wrestles more at house shows than he does on television, it seems like these days. If you go to a WWE house show, you've got a better chance of seeing a Universal Championship match than you do of watching it on television.
Yeah. Now,
weird.
Let's get. I guess we got to go hypothetical here because we all know what's going to happen. We know Brock Lesnar's walking out of Royal Rumble, still the Universal Champion.
That seems to definitely be the case at this point. Yeah.
But, and we got to say, but what if the match sticks and it is still Finn Balor, it still is Brock Lesnar, and Finn comes out on top? That is just so awesome to think about, but it's like begging for CM Punk to come back.
Yeah, no, it is a lot like that. It is a lot like that.
We know, look at the caliber of people that Brock Lesnar has put just totally down, and then
the rest
try to put Finn Balor up there. And I know you're a Finn Balor fan.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm a Finn Balor fan.
I know that he's your boy, but he's just not at that level. He can't compete with the Roman Reigns, the John Cenas, the Brock Lesnars, the Braun Strowmans. He's fast. He's an amazing wrestler. Bump him to 205 Live. I'm done with him.
Oh, bump him to 205 Live. Here we go. I told everybody leading up to this a couple of times that we were going to hear some outlandish things, and we are probably
somebody
7 minutes into this, and here we go.
somebody's got to get into this and say it. No, I don't think he's gonna win. If he did win, it'd be awesome because I know that he's a fighting champ and he would bring that title to Monday Night Raw every week.
Absolutely.
And that's honestly what this company needs. It's something that you think, oh, the McMahons are gonna listen to the fans. You think maybe that's what they're gonna do. No, they're not gonna do that. But he's a fighting champ. It'd be cool to see him with the title to defend it. But I don't think he's the type of person that the company is looking for. Vince wants Brock Lesnar. He wants Braun Strowman. He wants Roman Reigns. He wants John Cena. He likes the big guys.
Yeah, he does.
Which is why, tying back to that Fatal 4-Way, I thought 100% there is no way Drew McIntyre doesn't come out the winner.
Oh yeah, no, I kind of thought it would be Drew McIntyre too. I was fairly convinced it would be John Cena. Just like I said, he's been back for 2 weeks and he still doesn't have a belt yet. It's kind of weird.
He's going Super Saiyan with his hair, and he might bring out that whatever.
Five moves of doom or whatever it is.
6th move of doom. I don't even know what the word is that it is, but it's like a punch. And I've seen it a couple times, and I really don't think it helps his arsenal.
No, I don't think the jean shorts are helping his arsenal anymore at this point. Like the shorts might have been something he should have left in his 30s. I think he's in his 40s now.
I don't think denim in the wrestling ring is appropriate no matter what.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he retired, that should have retired denim in the ring.
That was it. That should have been, we are no longer allowing denim in the ring. But then, Dean Ambrose was wearing jeans for a long time.
Sure.
I don't know. I've seen a couple people wear jeans in the ring. Batista wears skinny jeans every time he shows up.
Well, okay, wearing jeans in the ring is one thing, but those jean shorts and then wrestling in them, he just looks so funny.
Pump up shoes.
When he was still the doctor of Thugonomics or whatever, it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
But
every time he laces up his shoes and he puts on those knee pads, he's thinking, I need these knee pads. This is gonna help athletically, but these jorts are not coming off. I'm gonna put on all the other gear, but I'm leaving the jorts on. That's
So you think he just walks around in jorts, he's just hanging out? If he doesn't have to be in a suit or something, he's probably wearing those jorts.
Yeah.
And he just gets ready to wrestle around the jorts.
Yeah. It's just work around this. This is mine, no matter what. If you guys can, yeah.
I trash on John Cena, but John Cena has. I still get a little bit emotional when I see the John Cena American commercial or the love is.
Oh, it's such a good one.
Yeah, I still get a little because, and I think the reason for that is because it's when I was growing up wrestling and guys who were involved in wrestling, that was not really a place you could go to find a message that was inclusive or that was you know what I mean? They were more likely to.
There were some skits back in the day that were
back in the day when we were growing up. So it made me feel good. It just made me feel okay, we're wrestling. The world in general, John Cena is a good ambassador to try to move some people to a better
platform. They have the platform to do it. Why not do it? And they've done a good job. John Cena, good job. WWE is good. WWE is good for this country. It's good for this world.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think that every decision they make is the right one. On
as far as WWE, the company, the company's product is what I'm saying. Sorry. As far as the company's product, they're doing good. I think they dip their hands in a couple of things that might be a little sketchy.
without naming anything in particular, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
There is
great things, you know, the all the stuff with the Susan G. Komen stuff, or
right.
I think I'm saying that right. I might be saying that wrong.
No, I think you are.
But
yeah, I think you are. All the Special Olympic stuff with Big Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, right. And those people getting a big pop from the crowd and everything shows you that like the WWE fans they're along for the ride with all of it. What kind of people like wrestling? I'll show you what kind of people like wrestling. The kind of people that hoot and holler for Special Olympic athletes the same way that they do for their favorite wrestlers. That's the kind of people that like wrestling. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I feel like it's good for the sport too, and they've done a lot of good things for the sport. So, you know, and I think a lot of that started with John Cena. So I don't like to make fun of him about his hair and like about his stupid jorts and like
fun of it
because like deep down he's good. John Cena is like a good guy. So.
And that's the same reason when I'm at the shows, I'm shouting the John Cena sucks, but at the same time, I'm rooting for him in the match. You know, I'm gonna root. I'm yelling both the boos and the cheers because noise is the whole point.
Yeah, sure.
If you're making fun of him, it's because you're watching because you like the show. So even if you're doing that guy, you want to see that. You want to see him because you want to boo.
Right, absolutely. It's the same thing with Kurt Angle and the "You suck" chants. I had to explain that to my wife when she started watching wrestling with me.
Yeah.
That, it used to be because they all hated him.
Yeah.
And now it's because we all love him, and so it's a tradition at this point. You know,
he's a face that you boo, which is normally you get the opposite. You get these heels that you want to cheer for. Yes. You know,
right.
We'll go back to that when we talk Becky Lynch, but you know, I think that the John Cenas and the Kurt Angles, you know, you're booing them because you love them,
right?
So
no, that is a lot of it.
Let's talk bad guys in that fatal 4-way match. You've got Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre. What on earth is Baron Corbin doing in that match?
I know, it's terrible. I guess maybe there had to be somebody who could be there to kind of get like beat up.
Yeah, something.
You know, to be somebody who was obviously not going to win. I kind of talked about that on my episode.
Yeah,
that like he was just obviously not going to win that match. Sorry, I had a pop up on my screen there. I had to disable real quick. But you know, he was the one that you knew for sure. Okay, Baron Corbin not going to be in the Universal Championship match at Royal Rumble. At least I hope not, unless, you know, Vince McMahon is really, really suffering in his old age and his decision making.
But Vince loves Corbin. I mean, Baron Corbin's a big guy. He's tall. He's world champion boxer or whatever. He's a really phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
Man, to see him be in that, like, to jump right to an opportunity for the Universal title, I was like, whoa. I get Finn. He had the title. I get John Cena.
Right.
And, you know, Drew McIntyre, I'm going to be a fan of. I'm thinking there's a big Drew McIntyre push coming.
I hope not.
I want to straight into my pick, you know, because at the end of this video, we got to give our pick.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I think you know where it's going.
Yeah.
But Drew's a big guy. He reminds me, that is the Razor Ramon physique.
I love Razor.
He looks like a guy that's going to scare you and beat you down. And I think he's not bad on the mic. I don't think he's the worst.
No,
as far as not. You know, you got to be good if you're going to be a heel because you got to do some trash talking. And I think he does a pretty good job. I like his accent.
Sure.
So, and I was a 3MB fan. So
yeah. No, you know what? I hate Drew McIntyre, but I hate Drew McIntyre in a way that I think is healthy for what they might want to do with him. They want some people to hate him.
Yeah.
They want at least half of us to hate him. And so I'm in that group, and I don't hate him in a way that like every time he's on TV, I'm rolling my eyes and wishing I was somewhere else. It's not like that. It's just
with what did you called him something that was so good. Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
Lashley, what did you say?
Alrighty.
The alrighty
Bobby Lashley.
Lashley. Trademark. Hashtag it. Do whatever you got to do. The alrighty Bobby Lashley was perfect. That's a guy that he's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
They want at least half of you to hate him, and he is god awful. He is terrible in the ring. He is terrible on the mic. He's just nothing. I mean, come on. And honestly, when you look at him, yeah, he's a big jacked dude, but he's always been a big jacked dude. He's nothing new. We've seen Bobby Lashley before.
Yeah.
He wasn't capable of anything before.
Right.
I mean, put Bobby Lashley in MMA, and you put him in a cage, that is a dominant athlete that is going
maybe.
Where
did he fight? He did do MMA. I can't remember what's that?
Was it Bellator?
I think you did. I think it was Bellator. Every now and then when we both talk at the same time, my computer freaks out and I can't hear what you're saying. So I apologize to you and to anybody else who might be listening to this later. There's certain moments when that happens, where this is a new kind of thing. We're working it out. We'll get better at it as we go. But no, I don't think he was like winless or anything like that in Bellator. But I don't think that excursion lasts very long.
I don't know. I didn't follow him that much in that.
But I'm trying to think of how long he was gone for.
I know he was successful. He made some money doing it.
Yeah.
But he's just, I think he got a really big pop when he came back. And people were like, wow, look at how big he is. He's the next guy going after Brock because they're both MMA backgrounds. They're both, they're both these giant humans that are going to go and battle it out. And then I started watching him in the ring, and I'm like, what moves does he have? What does he have? What does he do? He doesn't
Nothing really. He does that one where he holds you straight up in the air, which is really, if you know anything about what you're looking at, that's more of a testament to the core strength of the guy being held up.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to lift a 300-pound guy above my head. But, yeah, I just don't think he has hardly any skill. I think he's too big. I really think that's what it is. I don't think he's got the flexibility. He's got speed. Obviously, he's only going 20 feet, but
sure.
Just not entertaining to me. And I think me and you are both agreeing on that just all right. Just all righty.
In the end, I think it's good that they put a belt on him because at least it gives, because they're obviously going to put him on TV. We figured that out by now. They're not going to stop putting Bobby Lashley on TV. We're going to have to watch him. So if he's got a chance at being entertaining, it's because there's a belt involved and we get to see people try and take it from him.
All right. Who do you got?
That's the best case scenario.
Because I know who's going after that belt, or at least I have my really strong guess at who's going after that belt. And I think that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, they're done with this. The belt had nothing to do with Seth and Dean.
Right.
So by taking the belt away, I think you were saying it that, I mean, maybe that just separates them. They'll go at it still. But I think to bring some entertainment to and make it, instead of alrighty, make it better, I think Elias is going to go after Bobby Lashley. And I think that that's a huge move that the company is going to make to put a belt on Elias. He deserves a belt. He's the best guy on the mic since, I think The Miz is great. I think John Cena's pretty good. But Dean Ambrose is great. But man, I love listening to Elias just twist and manipulate the crowd. And he can make you hate him
Yeah,
You love him, and I still don't even know. Do I even like him? I don't know.
that's how I feel too. Like, I
Says
don't know
something,
if I like him.
but I immediately react. When he says something, I'm reacting. It's never boring. When what is his little pet's name? uh,
So much.
yeah, Leo Rush. When he's talking, I'm annoyed.
Me
It's
too.
just boring. I don't like it. When Elias gets going and he's just ranting, I can still like it. I enjoy it. I like listening. Obviously, you're a music guy. You're gonna like somebody that plays the guitar in the ring.
Yeah,
I like guys that bash the guitar over people. So
sure.
when I think they're setting up some good, Elias is gonna write an amazing song to trash Bobby Lashley. He's gonna talk about his favorite pose. He's gonna talk about Leo Rush. He's gonna talk about the title belt, and he's gonna take him down. I think they're putting the belt on Elias, and they're going through Bobby Lashley. So
That'll be good. I would watch that. I'm hoping at some point in time we see. But of course, then I don't know who you'd get to take it off him because it'd be a weakening thing. I think John Cena is an intercontinental championship away from having held every belt in the company that a man can hold. A man his size can
I
hold.
thought he held everything already.
I think I saw a post the other day where it was saying he needed, and I could be wrong. Every now and then I say something and I read it wrong or something like that. But I'm pretty sure I saw a post the other day that had said that he was maybe it's the United States Championship that he's never had.
Oh, I want to say he's had that one.
You think he's had that one?
He's
It
had
might be. I feel like it was they showed him holding a white belt and it said he was.
I think he had the U.S. title when I think he went against Rusev for that title in a flag match. I want to say a few years ago. I might be wrong on that too. I might be misremembering who it was. Um, but either way, so I don't know who's gonna do it. John Cena could do
I'd
something.
love to see Elias with the belt. Like you're hit the nail right on the head as far as who they should have. Wasn't Elias Intercontinental Champion for like a week?
Oh, he might have been.
I think he beat Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw, where in a match where he held his
Held in the trunks.
something like yeah, and then at a pay-per-view in like July maybe or June, Seth Rollins won it back. He didn't even it wasn't even off of him for like a week.
Yeah.
He lost it on a Monday and won it back on a Sunday. I thought Elias held it for which obviously isn't long enough, but like I thought he had it for like 4 or 5 days this year.
I want to see him with the title, defending it, writing songs about the guys he's defending it against.
Yeah.
I think that makes for good TV. It's entertaining. I like it.
Yes.
I think as far as Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose go, they've got a lot of good work. They can push this thing all the way to WrestleMania and
Absolutely.
see what happens. I don't want to push Roman Reigns into this conversation. He needs to do what he needs to do.
Obviously. I just hope we get a chance to see him again. I just hope he's healthy. Well, I mean, not even just that. I just hope he's healthy enough that for him,
I just want him to be healthy physically, right, to be healthy. But God willing, and I hope that he makes a recovery, that he is healthy, that we get to see him again. And if it happened quickly, which I know these things don't, but
I heard a year minimum. I heard a minimum a year. But.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him. I was begging for the Shield reunion for a long time. So even though it's done now, maybe whatever time frame it takes, another Shield run or at least a reunion just to get those three back together on the same page would be really cool. If they can work out their differences in the ring and Seth and Dean go at it all the way to WrestleMania, and then at WrestleMania it's just this tear the roof off the place match, and we get to see the coolest. I love when those guys are at their peak, when they're at their best in the ring. They're some of the best matches I've ever seen. So to see Seth and Dean going at it all the way through Royal Rumble, they are going to be the cause of each other's downfall at Royal Rumble to go for that title. They're going to both be in it. They're going to cause each other problems. In one way or another. That's my prediction. I think they're going to be.
That's good. I like that. That like so right. So do you think like we could see a situation where both guys are in a position where they begin to maybe work together a little bit and suspecting a betrayal starts to kind of like where that like maybe we see them working together and there's a little bit of a Shield reunion right there inside of Royal Rumble for 2 minutes.
I think we saw something similar to that on Monday Night Raw, where I think it was Dean kind of initiated it and was like, let's go after, and Seth wasn't having any of it, and I think that Dean's kind of the one that's going to do that. I think again, or maybe see now I'm second guessing myself, because I think maybe because Dean tried and Seth kind of was like, no, we're not doing that. Maybe this time in the ring, Seth does it and tries to initiate it, and then Dean Ambrose kind of doesn't want to have any part of that this time around. But I do think there's going to be some sort of attempt by one or both of them to like, let's work together for, the enemy of my enemy.
Right.
And so maybe we see something, but ultimately they're going to tear each other apart. This is not something, this feud is not ending at Royal Rumble.
No, certainly not.
This is not over. So we're gonna see a main event somewhere with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. I don't think a title match is gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be for a title. I think they can main event without a title belt.
Absolutely. If they do this right, you have two of the biggest stars in the whole company. Used to be buddies. Now they're not buddies anymore. That should be all it takes. If they do it right, and two of the better in-ring performers and in-ring workers in the company too, like that, all it should take is some decent writing, and you should be able to have a main event at a pay-per-view. Obviously, not like a big 4 pay-per-view or anything, but you should be able to have a main event in the pay-per-view without a title match involved between these two. Just like, and I highly recommend, since you said that you don't do NXT as much. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were in a tag team called DIY together. And they, just like this, I mean, it's not the exact same, but very similar to the splits with the Shield and stuff like that. And they've had matches that just tore the roof off of pay-per-views that didn't even involve titles.
I watch NXT the same way I watch 205 Live. It's the same way where I'll look at the title matches, or I'll see the big names that are going, and I try to catch the good matches. I try to catch the recaps. Just keep tabs on things. I'm not a diehard fan where I'm watching every show. I watched I try to watch every Monday night. I try to watch every Tuesday night. I try to catch my pay-per-views. But NXT has just been when I tend to watch, I get a really good match. Those Gargano and Ciampa going at it. That's a match. You see, before the UK thing, Pete Dunne doing some cool moves that I haven't seen before.
Pete Dunne's cool.
But then there's just those guys that I'm like, okay, I get it. This is the B team. No offense to the B team.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like the B team. I was into that B team push.
I still am. I should have wore a B team shirt.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Cool.
There's a lot of those guys, especially they're big guys that they're big guys that are just fat guys. that aren't good at wrestling. There's a lot of lack of talent, and I get it. It's developmental, or it's at least supposed to be developmental.
Mm-hmm.
But that's hard for me to watch. It's kind of like watching garbage football games, when both teams are out of the playoffs, but they still got to play each other, and you're like, what is this? And I'm watching these NXT matches that I'm trying to follow it, but then you get a mid match that you're just like, I want to turn this off. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Man, I usually think that even their mid card matches are usually they're pretty good. I would rather watch an NXT mid card match than I would Mojo Rawley versus the Congo Line guy. What's his name? No Way Jose. I'd rather watch that than that.
It's Adam Rose, right?
Huh?
It's Adam Rose.
Adam Rose.
Yeah, isn't that the guy? Isn't that his character? It's the same bit that one guy Adam Rose had.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would much rather watch an NXT mid card match than watch any of that.
Now, the last couple Monday nights and the last couple Tuesday nights have been fire. Like, they've just been bringing
fantastic
best stuff. So I hope that they continue this. And honestly, when did it start happening? As soon as the McMahons took over.
As soon as they said, yeah, but hey, that's what they said on the show. We got to stick to what they said on the show. They were taking over. And yeah, you're right. Like, Raw has been a lot better since those episodes. Last week's Raw was pay-per-view level matchups.
Amazing.
I can't believe it. If you watch the Hulu version of last week's Raw, you would think that it was like the greatest episode of Raw of all time. It's an hour and a half of straight fire.
Yeah, it was great. Same with SmackDown. SmackDown's some amazing matches too. And I know
you said something about Becky Lynch earlier. Tell me what you think about Becky Lynch, because I think it's a Stone Cold. I think she's the biggest thing since Stone Cold right now.
Oh yeah, I liked Becky Lynch all the way. I liked the red hair. I liked the steampunk version that she came out. You said it, and you said it best, that just SmackDown has all that women's talent. Oh my God, yes. They have everything. It's so crazy good over there. And I think Becky Lynch is definitely at the top. Charlotte's she's an unimaginably good.
Great. Yeah, Charlotte's great. I'm not trying to take away anything from Charlotte. Charlotte is when she does what's it called, the force of nature, or what's her there's the figure eight, but there's the move she did on Becky after when Becky was doing her disarm her.
Yeah, that new little move that she came up with. I
can't remember what it's called. Something like the force of nature or something like that. One of these things when you're recording something like this live, I don't have the opportunity. I'm not going to pull out my cell phone and look it up and try and figure out what it's called. Yeah. But that move.
Becky has been amazing always, and I think that good people that have watched a long time, with her, real fans knew always that Becky Lynch was at that same caliber. I think she kept getting pushed back with Charlotte being at the top, and then Asuka came in undefeated, and so they kind of pushing Asuka up there too. And the whole time I'm like, Becky Lynch, she's she's with these girls, these women, these amazing superstars, and I think that now that she got it, she had it a couple times
before, but this is different, though. This is different.
Totally different.
Right.
I think you said it right, that this is like a very Stone Cold thing. This is like it's that
how different this is. She's not even champion right now, and we're talking about her like she's still the champion. That's how different it is. Asuka's the champion. And we're talking about it like Becky's the champion. Asuka's the champion. And we're just like, oh, yeah, but this time's different. Like, she's still got the belt. And she doesn't. She doesn't. But in our minds, she does.
It's crazy. But she is getting a lot of TV time.
Yes.
When she came in, they opened SmackDown with just the most, awesome segment. Where she just walks in and just owns that building was Becky Lynch's building. Nobody was going to take the show from her. And right, she's not the champion.
Right.
But even when they opened it up, I was like, that's the coolest person on the show tonight.
Yes.
And
she's the coolest person on the show. On that show, every night, she's the coolest person on that show.
Anybody, she's got that Stone Cold aspect where nobody's her boss.
No.
Nobody's telling her anything. She does what she wants when she wants. She's the man. And she, yeah, I don't know, man. She has got it. And I think I think they might keep her away from that title and just keep pushing this, like, she can take it whenever she wants.
That might be what they do.
Yeah. Have Asuka go up against Charlotte, have Asuka up against, pick anybody. Naomi,
Naomi would be fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to have them put the belt on her right now, but she can wrestle. So if there was matches with Naomi and Asuka for the title, they would be good matches.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
Going to be still on that. Becky Lynch she's the better wrestler. She's the better superstar for that belt right now, and it doesn't matter who's holding it. And
right.
I don't think it was very fair that it was a triple threat match that Asuka took it, but I don't want to, if we make another video talking about that match, even because oh my god, I was losing my
mind.
Great
match.
Some of the bumps they were taking on those ladders.
Yes.
Some of the hardest bumps I've seen, and I've watched the Hardys.
Yeah, sure.
Christian, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon ladder matches. Those bumps that those women were taking were making. I was cringing, and they were just taking them and getting up and going at it again every single time. Oh man, I could talk about this because this is one of those matches, and this is what I really love about the whole women's division today is, I don't even, should I say it? Should I say it?
Say it.
The women's division is better than the men's division today.
Probably. I think you're right about that. I think you are.
To in-ring performance, they are not holding back. And when you get matches like Mojo Rawley up against this garbage guy, you get Lucha House Party up against somebody stupid. You've got these terrible, awful. You've got a Universal Champion who doesn't even show up at the show.
Yeah.
The women are taking this opportunity and they are running with it, and it's the best wrestling that I've seen in a long time.
I agree.
The matches that are sticking with me in my head that I'm like, what were some good matches this week? Or what were some good pay-per-view matches that I saw? I'm picturing, Becky Lynch on top of that ladder about to go and jump down onto Asuka and Charlotte on the announcer table. And I'm like losing my mind that happened when you go back 10 years even. Now, I'm not saying go back 20 years, go back 10 years with this title belt. And it just, even then we thought, oh, these women are becoming these really good wrestlers. Even then, this new stuff is just the best wrestling that I've seen in a long time, not just for women.
No, you're right.
That's plain and simple. Some of the best wrestling I've seen.
Cut and dry. It's really, really good. And
top dog. I don't think she'll get the title belt back right away. They don't need to, because like we're saying, she's right there at the top. She doesn't need the title belt to make her the coolest person when she comes into the room.
Right. No, she doesn't, to get the biggest pop. And then it might be, like you said, it might actually be kind of wise for them to keep it off of her. Maybe Charlotte interferes in the match, because isn't there, because I don't want to say this wrong. I almost feel like I should look at my phone and check this, but I'm pretty sure Becky and Asuka have a match at Royal Rumble, don't they? Yeah. So maybe Becky, maybe Charlotte interferes with that match and stops it. Because I think the reason that they took it away from her in a triple threat match was to not take away from like her power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you and I can still sit here and say that, well, she never lost. Someone else just won.
Exactly. That's how
You know
triple
what I mean?
threat works. You don't have to lose if somebody else wins.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So that might very well be what they do. Which so do you think when Becky went bad that the writers expected us, because I felt like we were right at the beginning of a big Charlotte Flair push.
Yeah.
And when Becky got the reaction that she got, they were like, well, Nick's plans, we gotta ride this wave, you know?
The writers on the show, on at least the main shows on Raw and SmackDown, and they have no idea what to do whenever they never get it right with
Sure.
what they expect that the reaction is going to be to what it actually is. But when she won and she went bad, or when she went after
lost.
Charlotte,
she lost, right? And Charlotte went to shake her hand, and then she hit her with that title belt, and then it was just like inside, I'm like, no, you guys are friends. And then like by the next Tuesday, I was like, this is the best thing to happen to wrestling in forever.
I cheered. I was screaming at my TV. I saw her do it, and I said, this is it. This is the moment.
So right at the beginning, you were on board. I had a moment of like, no, that friendship was so great. I don't know why I cared so much. I don't know.
No, I wanted her to go after her. I wanted to see that. I even wanted that to happen so much that like when it did happen, I thought it was like, wait, did I convince them like to do you know, there are times when they go for the handshake and I'm like, man, I want this. I want you to shake hands, be, you know, like respect level given there.
Sure.
But man, when they were going face to face right there, I said, this is the moment where I just want her to just full heel turn, be as ruthless as you can, because Becky Lynch should be at the top, and then she was, and she is, and I think she's going to stay at the top whether she has that belt or not.
That's awesome. And it's just so funny that heel turn turned into such a big, like, it wasn't a heel turn. It was like she's fully like a face of the company. I know that she's supposed to be bad and that she's supposed to be this and she's supposed to be that, but it's not a heel turn. It's just not.
It's just doing her own thing. Nobody's her boss. She's gonna do what she wants when she wants.
People love it.
Good for her. Yeah.
Speaking of bosses, what do you think about The Miz and Shane McMahon?
I thought you were going Sasha Banks with this one, but
okay. Well, I could have, I guess, because she is the boss. But
I can nail these two together, actually.
Okay. All right.
Because you've got Shane McMahon, the boss, or at least the boss's son, or part of all this bosshood.
He's the boss of SmackDown, right? So
you've got Shane McMahon, best in the world. Hashtag
world at getting concussions. Every time he goes out there, I'm like, Shane, I get it. You're scrappy. You're a wrestler. You're one of the guys.
Yeah.
But, dude.
I like Shane. I like The Miz. I think The Miz should be a heel. I think they're pushing the face Miz a little too hard. I think he's losing some of his charisma with this whole gimmick. But I like it. It makes for good TV. I like watching these little bits that they're doing. Anytime The Miz is on the mic, I'm gonna watch. He's just good at what he does. He can he knows how to talk. He knows how to cut a promo.
Yeah.
And he is. I mean, I don't know. I know he was on what? He was on like Real World Road Rule when it's, you know, Mike, whatever his name,
like Ms. Nannon or something.
But I don't know if he came from an acting background. But he can. Maybe I'm hyping up The Miz right now. But have you seen The Marine 8?
No, I have not.
I have not either. But no, he knows how to act, and so when he gets on the mic, he goes into that acting mode, and he nails that character so well.
He does. I never saw Rough Ref either.
Of what was it?
Rough Draft. It was a fake movie he kept saying he was in back in like maybe the fall or something like that.
He's an A-lister. He's in
Yeah,
all.
he is. Yeah, he's busy. He's a busy guy.
I think the best tag team in the world thing is gonna work out for them. They're taking those titles.
Good, because somebody needs to take it from the bar. The bar is my least favorite thing on television. I think I'd rather watch QVC than watch the bar.
There's no chemistry there.
No,
It's weird.
it is. It's really weird. It's
I
tough to look at.
like Cesaro. I don't hate those guys.
Yeah,
It just seems like a tag team that Vince was like, or whoever was like, hey, we don't have anything for you guys right now. Do you want to be a tag team? And then they made him a tag for a Monday night or something, or
yeah.
a Tuesday night or whatever it was. And then they were just like, all
Just
right,
got stuck with it.
this is just what you guys are going to do now. And
That sucks.
you'd think with this much time, they build some sort of chemistry and you'd think they're one cohesive unit, but they're just always like not like they don't gel the way that a tag team should.
No.
So let me twist this all the way back to the boss. Okay? Sasha Banks. I don't care what happens with Ronda Rousey's title and Sasha Banks. I think they just wanted maybe a little bit of Sasha in there for to push what is actually going to happen at Elimination Chamber, which is Sasha Banks and Bayley are walking out the first ever tag team women's champions. They have the chemistry that a tag team should have. When I see them in the ring, the tags they're making, the moves they're doing back to back, they've got it. And they've got that whole friendship thing that who knows, maybe that turns into some later
potential for drama there between them.
That's great. But they really just they are such a good tag team. When I watch those women's tag teams that are trying to compete with that level, there's nobody that's at that cohesiveness that those two have. When I watch like the Riot Squad, have you ever actually watched the tags that the Riot Squad makes? Go back through, watch the tags. That a good tag should be. The person coming in is holding their hand out like this.
Mm-hmm.
Person going out, tags from the top to the bottom. I have so many Riot Squad tags that are just like, are you going? Should I? What? Top? It's a nightmare, and it breaks the flow of the match. And you just want to be like, what are you doing?
Speaking of the Riot Squad, do you remember? When I think it was Liv Morgan? I think it was Liv Morgan got kicked right in the face by one of the Bellas.
I don't remember.
You don't? Okay, this was on a Raw. Obviously, it was on a Raw back in maybe October, I think. Around October, it was late fall, I think. And there was a tag match between the Riot Squad, Ronda Rousey, and the Bella Twins.
I think I remember the match.
It was a 6-woman tag match, and it was Daniel Bryan's wife, whichever Bella is married to Daniel Bryan. I have a hard time with the twins. It's the same thing with the Usos. I have a hard time remembering which one's Jimmy and which one's Jay. I have a hard time remembering which one's Nikki and which one's Brie. I feel like I can tell them apart. I just have trouble remembering which one has which name. Like, anyway, the one married to Daniel Bryan was doing the yes kicks on Liv Morgan and caught her flush and like right in the mouth, just flush in the mouth, right? And I was watching with my wife, and the Bella twin tried to pick up Liv Morgan, and Liv just fell like a rag doll. And my wife was like, "Oh, she's really committing to that." And then you come to find out that she was actually not completely unconscious.
Yeah, I think I do remember this, and I remember seeing it, and I think I was watching it with my wife as well. And we both kind of looked at each other like, did Liv Morgan duck a little bit? Like, when you're getting the yes kicks, or the
Right.
it kicks, as I like to call them.
It kicks. Oh, you chode.
So you got to take these in the chest.
Right. Oh, sure.
I thought she started to take it and then go down.
She did maybe kind of feed herself a little bit wrong.
So, I'm not saying that Bree, didn't maybe lift that kick up a little high, but also live. You can't duck down on that.
No.
You're gonna get kicked in the mouth, and you're gonna get knocked out, and that's what happened.
Yes, she went down like a rag doll, dude. And man, she's tough. That Liv Morgan is tough, dude.
I think the Riot Squad, I think they're garbage, but I think that's just because they're trying to make a tag team out of something that is nothing.
Sure, they don't seem like a tag team. They totally don't.
Yeah, there's
But I like Ruby Riott. I think Ruby Riott is an entertaining wrestler. I think she'll make a good heel in the women's division. Like,
I think
I don't know. The Riot Squad doesn't seem like a unit, though. You're right. Like, they come out and they don't look like a band. You know what I mean? They don't look like people that would hang out together, even.
They're no 3MB.
No, certainly not. Certainly no 3MB.
Which brings me to the Singh brothers.
Here we go.
I'm just kidding. But they are really good. They have changed the course of
they're the unsung heroes of
Jinder Mahal. So,
certainly, yeah.
Like those guys. Hard workers is what they are.
They are. They get beat up. They just get beat up.
So,
their whole job is to get abused.
We talked the tag matches. We talked the Universal title. Obviously, I think we're both agreeing that Brock Lesnar's walking away with that.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. At first, I thought there might be a chance that they were going to put it on Finn Balor and give it back to Brock sometime either at or before WrestleMania. But now I'm pretty sure that that's probably not going to happen.
Intercontinental, I don't know. Maybe Bobby Lashley hangs on to it at Royal Rumble, but I think they might set up a match with Elias at Royal Rumble. Who knows? That might happen.
I think they might add that to they could always add anything to the card.
Exactly.
They really can. They can. They can do whatever they want.
Night Raw. We still got SmackDown to come.
Sure.
We haven't talked Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. I don't know. I like what they're doing.
How do you feel about Daniel Bryan as a heel?
I think Daniel Bryan's got talent no matter what they do with him. I think that he's I was a little nervous when he first started cutting the promos. I liked the heel turn. I'm fine with the heel turn. I don't mind him as a heel.
Right.
He's good in the ring, and he's good on the mic now that they've got the whole thing figured out, that what he was going to do. I was afraid that he didn't know how he was going to get the crowd against him. And so those first couple promos, I was like, I don't know if I hate you, which is what the goal is, for me to not like you. And I was like, I don't know if I don't like you. Now with the whole oh, you guys are trash people. You're terrible human beings for eating hot dogs. And, the way that he's doing it now,
comes out instead of wearing his ring clothes, he wears this Portland hipster sweater and this vegan look and
the new Daniel Bryan is okay in my book. I like it. I like the I like it, but AJ Styles is just not doing it for me. I don't know.
I like him in the ring, but I have a hard time getting behind him or caring at all about even when they went as far as to have Samoa Joe, who I think is the best, I don't want to say heel, villain. He's the best straight up villain in the company. What's that?
Randy Orton.
He's also right up there. It's a shame they're on the same show, really, because that's what I was hoping. I think I mentioned in another episode. I was hoping Dean Ambrose was going to fill that role in Raw a little bit. And he really hasn't. So it's just been he's antagonizing the main hero on Raw, but I don't really see him in the same way I see the other two.
So we don't know that might develop a little bit more. With Samoa Joe, I think got he doesn't have the in-ring ability he had 10 years ago or 15 years ago. You know, by the time he got to WWE, I really don't. Well, no, because in NXT he was good, but by the time he got to the main roster, I think he's just not entertaining in the ring. But like you were saying, that his villainness, his evilness, the stuff that he's doing, is really really cool. Or not cool for the person he's doing it to, but really cool.
But it makes for good drama.
Yeah. That match with gosh, I can't think of his name. It wasn't even a match. It was just a beatdown.
Oh, Mustafa Ali. Just this, yeah.
That not only was that good, Samoa Joe did an amazing job there, but Mustafa Ali this is his first little run on the main roster.
Yes.
His ability to sell some of those moves, those bumps that he was taking on the edge there, that was awesome. He really is good. He's almost as good of a seller as Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he can sell.
Yes, he really can, and he's a good actor. I feel like Mustafa Ali's got a good future. I don't know. He's a smaller guy, so you're always nervous he's not going to be utilized properly. Yeah. But I think that, you know, he's got a bright future, I'm pretty sure, and he certainly seems to. I like his little Mortal Kombat, Iron Man kind of thing.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey, Sonya Blade, anybody? She just got she's Sonya Blade's voice.
Is she?
Mortal Kombat. So if you guys didn't know.
Is she? Yep. I knew she was invited to the premiere or whatever, but I didn't know that she was involved in the project. Was Cody Rhodes involved in the project too?
Don't know.
Because I saw he tweeted his little invite to the Mortal Kombat. He might have done somebody's voice too, I bet.
Yeah, maybe.
Johnny Cage. I bet you if it's anybody, I bet you it's Johnny Cage.
That'd be a cool Johnny Cage.
Man. So speaking of Cody Rhodes, are you going to be? See, I don't have cable right now, but I tell you what, if All Elite Wrestling is going to be on TNT or TBS and it's not going to be on Hulu, I might have to get it.
You bet I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to see what they bring to the table, because if it's anything like, what was whatever the other one was, Impact, I just wasn't into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard really good things. Man, Chris Jericho is just, he is scouting. He is going out and pulling some big names from the independent circuits, and guys that you think, oh, they might come back to WWE. He might be pulling them that way. And it's like, man, I know I've said it I've dropped his name like 3 times because I'm never going to stop dropping his name, but I've heard CM Punk was going, I'm not saying in-ring perform, but his name was in a list of guys that they talked to. And it's like, you got to talking to those people. That's impressive. Cody Rhodes obviously is the biggest name in the independents right now. I think that if Cody Rhodes is involved in it, and his group of guys that he's with right now,
the Young Bucks and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff, and it's really, really cool.
Oh, they're awesome. Oh, I've seen the ring. I've seen the Young Bucks on the Ring of Honor show on Fox in the middle of the night on Sunday night, 10, 15 times, something like that. Less than that, probably 6 or 7 times. Those guys are awesome. Everybody says it's just a bunch of rolling and super kicks, but it looks phenomenal. So who cares if it's just a bunch of rolling and super kicks, you know?
Wrestling. And, I don't want to see, some boring, jacked up 300-pound guy in a headlock for 5 minutes.
No.
That's not entertaining me, and I feel like.
Do you feel the same way then about, like, some of the heavyweights and stuff that I do, that like the heavyweights don't work at the rate that the guys Dolph Ziggler's size. I think Dolph Ziggler is the size of the prototypical wrestler for me. Big enough that like you can believe that they can do some crazy feats of strength or whatever and some crazy moves. Small enough to just be athletic and a high rate.
I agree that it's those giants, those super heavyweights, the Mark Henrys, the Big Shows, even guys like
Strowman.
Strowman, yeah, I'm gonna even put him in there. But those guys, yeah, their in-ring ability slows them down a little bit. They're not. I mean, they're entertaining to see somebody that massive. That's the whole attractor is.
Right.
If you go to the live show and you actually you pay the big bucks and you get those seats close, you see how big these guys are. Just there's no way they make it through a door. I mean, without ducking, they're huge people. But I don't like seeing Dolph Ziggler size guys. I absolutely do not like seeing Finn Balor sized guys walking down to the ring to take on a Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. I can't stand the idea because here's the thing. When I go to a show, when I watch this on TV, I don't want to believe I can beat that guy up.
Sure.
Now, not claiming.
You can't beat up Finn Balor.
I'm claiming that I can beat up Finn Balor. I would never do that. Especially
my dad can beat up your dad, damn it.
Yeah. But you know, those are guys that are smaller than me. You know, maybe I'm going to say that I don't want to see a guy smaller than me. So I can't have him be under 6 foot tall. I can't have him be under 240 pounds. You know, I got to see, I want Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Triple H, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are that like kind of my cutoff. Cause I think Dolph Ziggler's a little bit smaller than those guys. You know,
Dolph Ziggler's bigger than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins only weighs 200. Oh, he is billed at 215 pounds.
Yeah, and well, then that's what I'm saying is Seth's kind of tall. I think he's like what 6'3", 6'2",
something like that. Yeah, he's a little on the tall side.
But I want to see, you know, I watch wrestling because I want to see these superstars, and when I say superstars, I mean super. They got to be these physical specimens that you don't see these guys at a bar fight. You want to see the guys that are the top elite athletes going at it. That's why I mean, how many people are watching 205 Live? How many people actually care about 205 Live? I watch 205 Live for the high flying guys. I want to see cool acrobatic stuff. I do not care about Buddy Murphy.
Sure.
He doesn't do it for me. You know, I got to see.
I can understand that. I can understand Buddy Murphy not really doing it for you. I find it a little bit surprising though that you don't enjoy the pace, because like the thing that I don't like about watching the super heavyweights go at it is when they're set
pace.
What's that?
Like Drew McIntyre size can keep the pace.
It's not that I don't think he can keep the pace, but I think there's an awful lot of like I know when I'm watching wrestling that when a guy gets Irish whipped into the ropes and kicks a guy bent over like this in the face, I know that the man who was bent over was looking for a big back body drop. A big back body drop. I know what he was looking for, right? Like I'm aware of that because I've watched enough wrestling. And when the little guys do it, it happens at a rate and a speed, I think, usually that where my suspension of disbelief is not messed with. But a lot of the time when the bigger guys do it, they're just really bent over at and you're just sitting there and you're watching it and you're like, why in pluperfect health would this man be bent over at the waist in the middle of the ring waiting for someone to kick him right in the face?
Yeah.
Why?
They telegraph the move. Those big guys they sell things a little bit too much.
It messes with my. And another thing that seems to be a really kind of go-to lazy move in the WWE right now is send a big man running around the ring at high speeds and crashing into a littler man. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of watching Braun Strowman. And the only time it's entertaining is when he does it to Kevin Owens. Because when Braun Strowman does the run around the ring and like high like collision with Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens just sells like nobody sells a move like Kevin Owens. Dude, for a man his size, that dude sells.
When you get a 300-pounder that can take that bump of himself, I didn't know this about KO, and oh man, KO is on my list of he's coming into that Royal Rumble. I'm telling you.
I heard he's not going to be healthy till WrestleMania.
Yeah, we all hear things. We all hear.
That's a good point. That's fair. That's fair.
But when KO he quit or whatever, and then he came back like we all thought he quit, and then he was just back the next week like nothing had happened. But he did a move that I had never seen him do, and I don't know why he hasn't always done this, but he like kind of did a little spring back flip thing off the top rope. And I don't know where it didn't land. I'm pretty sure it didn't even land. I think whoever he was up against at the time either rolled away or got his knees up or something. But to see a guy that big go to the top rope, or at least, second rope, and try to do a flip, I was just like, wow, Kevin Owens just pulled something out of the bag that I hadn't seen out of him before. And I think he was getting some really big momentum before he got injured.
Yeah.
And
we need him back on TV.
Yeah.
We really need KO back on TV. Same thing with Sami Zayn. We need Sami Zayn back on TV. Just for the sake of something to watch.
Yeah.
Somebody out there stirring the pot. Like Kevin Owens being on TV was really, really, really important.
Yeah.
You're right. He could be a surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble. I was really crossing my fingers, hoping for Kenny Omega from New Japan.
Yeah.
I think he's going all elite. Him and Cody Rhodes are really good friends. I think he's going all elite.
Guys, Chris Jericho's doing a good job. He's picking off the guys that he wants from all the independent stuff and New Japan and Ring of Honor and all that stuff. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of the guys. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people leaving WWE to go there.
Sure.
Obviously, people are on contracts, but I don't even think when there's certain contracts that are going to be renewed anyways, just because the money is in WWE, whether you like the company or not, whether you respect Vince McMahon, whether he respects you, he's still going to give you a paycheck. And I think the guys that don't like the company but are still wrestling, I think they're going to stick around for the paycheck anyways. But
what about the Revival? I think I heard the Revival might be on their way out the door.
I don't care.
You don't? Yeah, I don't really care either. I just figured, it's news. I might ask you about it.
It's not flips. No, show me some flips.
Show me some flips. yeah, for sure. No, I like the flips.
If you're going to be under 215 pounds, learn to flip. All right? It doesn't take that much. I can do a flip. I'm not going to do a flip. I can't do a flip. But if I was getting paid, I would do a flip. Okay,
sure.
So Revival doesn't want to stick around. Nobody's going to miss them. Who cares?
So what about this taking the United States Championship belt off of Shinsuke Nakamura after he defended it, I think, all of once?
I don't know. I like Rusev. I don't like Shinsuke. I don't like that. And I know we have very different opinions on this one because I hate that whole Japanese strong style whatever.
I love him.
I know that you love this stuff. I
don't know. I just love him. Something about him. I loved it when he was doing the pretend he couldn't speak English thing. That was great.
I don't like
that. That was great. Oh, I loved it. So. But I was excited when they put a belt on him, and then they just didn't use him at all.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm in the feeling that I have is I don't care about the U.S. title right now, and I think it's because they just kind of put it on the back burner and we're like, yeah, we want one of our big names to have it, but then you didn't do anything with it, so it's just like, all right, well, then I guess I'm not gonna care.
Yeah,
I like Rusev. I think he's a big guy that can do some cool moves. He's got striking moves. He's quick for being a big guy. He's got a submission moves. He's, I think he's a good wrestler.
I like Rusev. I can't stand Lana. Lana needs to drop the accent. Lana's not really Russian, guys.
She's half in and half out right now.
Lana's not really Russian.
No,
she's not.
Kentucky or something.
She's from she's from so we all know. I just told you if you didn't know, she's not really Russian. Rusev really is from Bulgaria or something. That's real. That's not fake. But Lana's accent is fake, and she doesn't do it all the time.
You heard it here. You heard it here first.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you haven't figured it out.
Spoilers. Put the spoiler thing up. Yeah.
But no, dude, I like Rusev. I think Rusev is entertaining. And speaking of big guys, you said you didn't like Samoa Joe's in-ring work right now. He's still doing those step-up enziguris for a guy that doesn't look like he could do a step-up enziguri. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Rusev, same way. He looks like Rusev's physique, which I'm not trying to trash out. I'm this little dude. Rusev's physique, he looks like a grown-up baby. If you put Rusev in a diaper, I would believe he was just a grown-up baby, like Tommy Pickles, all grown up,
He could afford. The thing is, he's so he's got so much muscle. That dude's legs are like tree trunks.
I know.
He could cut 50 pounds and look like a lot more chiseled. But why? He likes
it's weird because he's like the skinniest looking fat guy I've ever seen, or the fattest looking skinny guy. I don't know, because he's not a skinny guy, but it's weird because from the front he can look like kind of a fat guy, and then he steps to the side, and you're like, you're not fat.
Yeah,
you're just not fat. You're not a fat guy. What is the deal here? He's a weird looking dude sometimes. But anyway, so you think he retains obviously at Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he retains? You think Asuka retains too then, probably, right?
Asuka retains.
So do you think any of the belts change hands? Oh, yes, the SmackDown tag titles. We both think those are going to change.
Tag titles change. I think the Intercontinental Championship. I want to see Monday night. I want to see if
they add that match.
Comes out and says something, and I think that somebody is gonna, you know what WWE stands for. I think
Elias, baby.
Yeah, I think that's happening. Universal's not going anywhere. AJ and Daniel Bryan could go either way.
Yes.
I think that could go either way, and I don't think it matters because either way they're still going to have another match.
Right. We haven't seen the end of that.
That's not going in. This is just beginning. So
yeah.
So
do you think they were trying? Because I got the feeling that as soon as Becky Lynch got the big crowd reception from kind of going bad a little bit, I feel like they've been kind of trying it with other people since then. Other people that shortly after that, we saw AJ Styles hit Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
And that hitting Mr. McMahon isn't something everybody gets to do.
No, that was weird. I did not see them allowing that. Why though? I don't understand why. We've got Daniel Bryan as the heel.
Right.
I don't understand why.
That's not heel territory right now. We learned with Becky Lynch at least that there's a chance to get a major face push from acting a little bad.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're going with. This whole.
It kind of seems like but with Becky, it was organic because, like I said, you and I both think that they did not expect that. I thought we were going to Charlotte push.
Yeah.
And so when we got the reaction for Becky, they changed their plans a little bit. I did not feel like the AJ Styles thing was organic like you. I felt like it was kind of weird and like they were trying to capture some buzz.
It's very WWE for them to say, hey, this works over here.
Let's try it over here.
Let's try it over here. And it's like, no, you can't recreate that stuff that is us. That's me and you. That's the you guys watching. That's what it is our reactions can make something like that happen. They can't try to force that. When you try to force it, we know.
Right.
That's
so what if AJ Styles? What I think would be interesting, and I'm going to talk for just a couple of seconds about like how I think we could redeem AJ Styles' character a little bit within and make him cool, because he's so good in the ring that it's a real shame that his personality and the way he's presented is so boring. So if AJ Styles were to lose to Daniel Bryan, right, and go away for a little bit, and I don't mean a long time, 2-3 weeks, right, 2-3 weeks off TV, maybe they could have like cut some video promos of him like out in Georgia, backyard brawling with his brothers or something like that, or his buddies from Georgia or whatever. Like he's going through fight camp, like he's going through a fight camp and he wants to take that title back, right? And then you have him come back with a longer beard, like he's been out in the woods for a long time, and shorter hair, like he's tired of getting that pulled on all the time.
Hey.
Shorter hair, longer beard, and then if he came out with a scraggly long beard and looking like he had just been through like the fight camp of his life, and he had his hair chopped short, and it was like did the boom, we don't want none or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I think I would be like, all right, AJ Styles is in the building. It's the house AJ Styles built now. Like
even without the word redemption in there, we don't need. Yeah, I don't think he needs to be redeeming, but definitely doing something similar to that, whatever it may be, taking that little hiatus and then coming back. Like I'm coming for that title.
Right, coming back physically looking a little bit different.
Definitely has to change the physical appearance or the ring gear. Something has to physically change, because I mean that's what we connect with, is what we see.
Yes.
Hard to project those emotional ideas, but when you can connect them to a visual thing, the same thing Daniel Bryan did with changing that look up a little bit, that tells me, I mean, it's elementary school stuff. The bad guy wears black, the good guy wears a bright color, and
sure.
To have him come back with something different. Dean Ambrose just did it.
Right.
He came back, chopped the hair, grew the beard out.
Yes.
It works. They know it works. Yes, they're going to try and recreate something again. Hopefully it works, but I like
if it works, then it works. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like wrestling has no truly new storylines at this point. There's nothing we haven't seen before in some fashion. I don't care about that. Just do it well. Yep. If you do it well, I'm going to be into it, Do you think we're going to see Hogan anytime soon in an actual wrestling match?
No, not more than we've seen him already. I mean, the little coming out for Mean Gene was a big thing that I think was really important. Not only just to celebrate the life of Mean Gene and give a little segment on that, but also it was good for Hogan to just be able to put his face out there for the company again. He hasn't been able to do that pretty successfully in a long time, so it's cool. It's cool to see that maybe the doors are opening back up. Maybe he's redeemed himself in the eyes of the company. I don't know. I think that people say stupid stuff, and I think he said some stupid things.
Sure.
But I think that everybody should be, I don't want to. It's so cliche to say give somebody a second chance, but Hogan's done a lot for WWE. So he's iconic. We gotta. I think he'll put his. I think he's okay to be on TV now, but I don't see him in a ring. If we do, it's something stupid, squash match.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble entrant that comes in for 2 seconds and gets thrown out by the New Day, which would be hilarious.
That would be kind of funny and some poetic justice there.
Yeah.
I thought the way the New Day, they had a statement come out about Hogan, and I thought it was really classy. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody that thinks that that you should no longer that you should have your livelihood taken away completely for making a mistake. If he does it again, then I would like to never see him on TV again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like flat out. If he does it again, I would like to never see him on TV again. I wasn't clamoring for him to come back either. I think keeping him out would have been a completely like legitimate response to the situation. Like that would have been fine. Like that would have been totally fine. I'm also a guy that thinks it's okay to give people second chances about certain things. And if he proves himself to be that was like an aberration and that's not really in his character, you know what I mean? Then like I'm okay with him being around too. I was just wondering if you thought we were going to see him in the ring. I kind of have a feeling we might see him and John Cena in a match.
I hope not. We did
And
this.
I kind of hope not too. I honestly, I kind of hope not too. Like I said, I think it's okay for him to be around. I think it's good. I think it's especially if he comes out and starts doing the John Cena thing a little bit, where it starts talking about like we shouldn't be bullies, we got to be more accepting, yada yada yada. If they make Hogan not the face of, but like give him some time to have a platform and talk about how we ought to treat people as human beings, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole generation of people a little bit older than you and I that really look up to him that maybe could use a little bit of like a role model the way John Cena might have been for not for you or I, but for people our age who weren't on board with what he had to say at first.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like there might be some opportunity for Hogan to do some good that he couldn't do if the WWE didn't let him at least back into the fold a little bit the way that they have. So, you know, again, I don't think second chances are bad. But I also wouldn't have thought that they were doing the wrong thing if they'd have just cut ties altogether forever. Right. You know what I mean? Like, or they wouldn't have been doing the wrong thing. And if he does something like that again, obviously the right move will be to be like, well, that's it. You know, like, bye. Like, so obviously Ronda Rousey, Sasha Banks, I would imagine we both think that Rousey's going to retain.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I think so too. I think there's interesting storyline that could be drawn from the opposite. And I think that surprising me as much as putting the title on the Boss would surprise me is always a good thing. It's always a good thing to surprise me. But obviously, even if you take it off her, it won't be for long.
I just don't understand why Sasha. Like when they were doing that moment of bliss, when she's listing all those things and then she says it's Sasha.
Mm.
I'm fine with it. I think Sasha is amazing. She's really, really good. But I also really love the idea of Sasha and Bayley taking those tag team titles. So for Sasha to be holding up the championship belt, that'd be weird. I'm not saying
it'd be weird.
It just seems weird to give her a belt and then also be trying to make that tag team title run, because they've already said they're going to be trying for that tag team title. They announced that Boss and Hug connection is going for it. So, why Sasha? I just don't get like that. This was the time to. I don't know if Alexa Bliss is healthy enough, ready to go.
I don't think so.
But man, this would have been the time to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That seemed. I thought they were bringing this moment of bliss. They were bringing her back into it. This was going to be her little push, even if she didn't take the title. That was a little getting Alexa Bliss back into it, or even going with Nia Jax or something.
I'm over Nia at this point.
Nia's a force.
She is. No, she absolutely is. She absolutely is. It's probably just because she broke Becky's nose and orbital bone in an in-ring mistake. You know, not kayfabe broke it, like really broke it. You know what I mean?
Good. And the fact that she's hanging out with Diet Naya.
Naya.
She's like Naya light.
She is.
Like,
isn't she Jimmy Snuka's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so. I didn't know for sure, but I had thought so.
That's just holding Nia back right now. And maybe they're gonna go with that kind of thing where they're like, maybe those two are going for the tag titles too, and Tamina's just like, oh, maybe they go. Tamina's holding.
I can see them going for the tag titles.
Nia, Tamina getting those two big forces going at each other, but Tamina's not that big. Honestly, she was big, and then Nia came around, and we were like, oh, Tamina's not that big. Nia's big.
I always tell my wife, it was like, it's amazing how Tamina looks like a normal sized person standing next to Nia, who's huge. And I don't mean in like I look at Nia as a fighter. Oh, like as a wrestler. So when I say she's huge, I just mean like she's enormous. She's a big person. She's powerful. She can lift any of these girls in the women's division. Like,
I mean, most of all probably, I would never want to have getting any confrontation with me personally. Oh, no. But Charlotte, Nia, Becky Lynch maybe, but Ronda Rousey, those women that are huge, like Charlotte's really huge.
She's enormous.
Is huge. Becky's strong. You can tell she's strong. Maybe she's not in this. Maybe she's not in this, but Ronda Rousey is. I mean, that's an Olympic fighter, an MMA champion.
Right.
These are women like that. You just when they get in a ring with somebody like, I don't know, any member of the Riot Squad, any member of, when they get in the ring with somebody like Nikki Cross that just came in, and you're like, how is Nikki Cross even going to remotely fare against somebody like Charlotte or Nia Jax?
Yeah.
That's just scary to think about. Like, I
kind of wish that she was a little bit, I don't know. I wish she was just a little bit better in the ring, but you're right. Her dramatic size and her massive power, it really does. It adds something to a match. You know what I mean? I'd be interested to see them going after those women's titles. What do you think about? I had said on a previous installment on my YouTube channel about you having a women's TV title that can bounce back and forth between either show, that like gives you an opportunity to wrestle for like the women's championship on your respective, kind of like a women's IC title, but that bounces back and forth between each show.
Yeah,
it isn't one for each show.
I don't care what we call it, TV title, IC title, world title, whatever you want to call it. We need another women's title. Like I've said, and I said it on this, the women's division is like just dominating. I would rather watch Becky Lynch up against Asuka or somebody on that, on SmackDown than Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles right now. Honestly.
I'm way looking forward to both women's championship matches more than I'm looking forward to either men's championship match.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think that we need to, obviously, we knew the tag team titles are coming, but we've been wanting that for a while. I think, we need another title. We need something, either an IC or a US title for the women's, but I don't know if it's something that I think that this whole brand split thing is going to get pulled away as soon as because they're transitioning over to Fox, right? So,
yes, they are.
So I think Fox is going to say, hey, we want to see all your best guys every week. So we don't want just, the Raw guys or the SmackDown. I don't remember what show's going where.
SmackDown's going to Fox. I'm pretty sure Raw is still going to be on USA.
Yeah, so I think that Fox is going to say, "Hey, we want to see Brock Lesnar. We want to see Finn Balor. We want to see those big names." So I think they're gonna. I would think this brand split is going to go away within the next year. That I think maybe they push towards. I would really love to see the titles reunited. Um, I hated the whole Universal title idea. I think that was I don't know, it was stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would like to see definitely titles that go back and forth between the shows. I want to see.
absolutely.
I loved when they do the superstar shakeup, when they switch it up and you see somebody from Raw show up on SmackDown and you're like, what? It blows your mind and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe they're trying to
I
make.
love Superstar Shakeup. That's the thing that would totally bum me out about a brand split, an ending of the brand split, is the end of the Superstar Shakeup. That's one of my favorite things about the wrestling calendar.
Yeah.
I immensely look forward to it every year.
Somebody that shows up on Raw most times, and then all of a sudden they're on SmackDown, and you're like, I didn't expect that. Not that they can't do it, because right now
Yeah.
you can't. It just doesn't. I mean, you're either on Raw or you're on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to just say, oh, I'm normally on Raw. You see the same people on Raw, but there wasn't something holding them back from just going over and taking a title opportunity on another show.
I think that they should do that just more often with pay-per-views in general. Like there should be some invasions every now and then, somebody showing up, not even to wrestle, but just to like talk some smack. And then all of a sudden we've got a pay-per-view matchup for the United States Championship, which is a SmackDown belt, but
Yeah.
it's a Raw guy wrestling for it. And if the Raw guy wins, then the belt's got to go back to Raw. And then maybe there's three men singles belts on Raw for a few months until there's another pay-per-view. Like you know what else they need to do that they haven't done in a long time is there needs to be a real belt and a fake belt. There needs to be some belt controversy. I would love for there to be a controversial ending to like something like the United States Championship match at an upcoming pay-per-view, and for instead of there just being one champion for the next Tuesday, both guys to come out wearing a belt, and then which belt is the real belt? We don't even know. And then look at the replay, and it looks like guy A, who is technically the loser, but we all thought the winner made away with the belt. He's got the real belt. Like the champion has the fake belt, and then you need a unification. And there's stuff that they can do with the belts to cause a little bit more drama, and they're not doing it. And I don't know why, but I don't. One of the things that we can do in the future, and one of the things that I always do when a comic book movie comes out or something like that is I sit there and I write a better movie. Usually when a DC movie comes out, Marvel, their stuff's hard to top. But usually when a DC movie comes out, I sit there and I go, man, if they had done this and they had done this and they had done this, and oh my, we'd had a better movie. You know what I mean? You can do that with Raw and SmackDown a lot too. Like, man, if they would just do this, it would be better. But you can deal with Brock. Like, okay, so like an ending to this Universal Championship match that would be really interesting is if there's some sort of like Finn goes for a coup de grace and Brock gets a knee up and both men are kind of incapacitated and are laying on each other so that both men's shoulders are down, but both men have an appendage like on the other man. One guy's got an arm, one guy's got a leg on somebody, and there's a 3 count. And we don't know who the champ is. And so you deal with Brock never being on TV by having Finn parade around as a faux champion and calling for I'm the real champ. I'm the real champ. They don't get this part-timer out here to fight me and unify these titles, you know? Like, I do. I want more controversy.
I like it.
I think the way that they do their unclean endings are too clean. Their unclean endings are not dirty enough. There needs to be a little bit more controversy. Another thing the WWE needs to bring back, if you watch these classic old pay-per-views, every single time a wrestler's shoulders would be down and the opposing wrestler would be touching them, the ref would be dropping to the mat to do a 3 count. They don't do that anymore.
No, and you see it a lot with like a little submission or a hold or something. And then all of a sudden, there used to be, the ref would slide under and he'd just for a second, and there's like no effort.
Right.
I've seen so many times.
Make me believe this is a fight.
Somebody gets put in a submission, and the dude who's putting him into the submission is pinning himself.
Right.
And the ref ignores it, and I'm getting so mad. Now, I wrestled. I
know you did.
So like, when I see that, I'm like, what? That's not fair.
Yeah, right.
Ref not doing his job, and that's when
Yeah,
we need better refs. You know what?
We
Barry
do.
Sanders had one thing right, and that was getting Heath Slater as a referee.
So who do you got? Men's Royal Rumble.
I think it's going to be lots of controversy. I think you're gonna like it. I think I'm gonna like it. I think there's gonna be those battles with definitely Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. I think Dolph Ziggler is gonna do some shenanigans with Drew McIntyre.
That would be good.
If Bobby Lashley is not in a title match, I think he will get that. Whatever happens with Bobby Lashley in the Royal Rumble will set up a title match.
Okay.
Obviously, the surprise guys are going to be in there that, that there might
We don't even know. We don't even know. Batista could come out for all we know. We literally don't know.
I was going to list a couple of the surprise guys that I thought. Batista, Wade Barrett was one that I was like, I don't know, maybe somebody like that. KO or Sami Zayn. I know we know timelines can get moved depending on what they want to do. But I gotta say, somebody that Vince loves, somebody that was in that Fatal 4-Way match, somebody that we know is getting a big push. It's gotta be Drew McIntyre.
So you think Drew McIntyre is going to win the Men's Royal Rumble?
I think Drew McIntyre wins the Men's Royal Rumble.
Okay. I'm a little bit skeptical R-Truth is coming out 30th.
Oh, boy.
I'm skeptical that that's actually going to happen. I think my big surprise to look out for in the Royal Rumble is somebody other than R-Truth coming out at 30 after all. Because he's supposed to, because he won the mixed match challenge with Carmella. Right. So Carmella and Truth are both respectively coming out 30th in their men's and women's Royal Rumble. Carmella, I buy coming out 30th. She could win the whole damn thing, right? Like, she could easily win the whole women's Royal Rumble. She's been a champion within the last year.
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me.
I don't like that happening, but definitely she's been a champion. We know she's capable of in-ring stuff, but it's coming in 30th with everybody else not being fresh and she being
right.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think watch out on the men's side. I don't think R-Truth is coming out 30. I don't think he is. I think it's somebody else.
He doesn't count to 30. He's coming out third because he got.
He's gonna mess up. Dude. R-Truth adds so much joy sometimes to watching SmackDown. I love R-Truth. I really do. When he wanted a title shot, and somebody had to wrestle Carmella for a title shot that week. One of the women did. So R-Truth was running around backstage looking for Carmella because he knew he had to beat because if you beat Carmella, you get a title shot. That was that stuff is great. That stuff is really, really funny. He called Maurice the other Carmella one time. So R-Truth is great.
So
as far as who's winning, what's that?
So you don't think R-Truth's coming out 30th?
I don't.
Do you think that 30th guy is going to even impact it?
Yes. I think the 30th guy is going to impact it. I don't know that he'll win. You know what I mean? But I don't know who's coming out 30. I don't know who's coming out 30. You know what I mean? You watch for all the usual suspects. Watch for The Rock. You know what I mean? Like these are the guys you got to watch for. No, I can't say that. Like I'm just saying, watch for anybody to come out 30th because I don't think it's going to be R-Truth. I think that when R-Truth and Carmelo won the mixed match challenge, and it wasn't the Miz and Asuka, or when it wasn't a team like that, I was like, ooh, number 30 in the Royal Rumble this year could be a real surprise then because it's not going to be R-Truth. I don't know who's going to win. Like I would be hesitant to pick a winner. I think you could see Seth Rollins in a main event for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, and that would be a main event because it's going to be somebody worthy of seeing in the main event at WrestleMania. That's what it's going to be, So when I think about it, I'm like, well, who is that? Who's really worth? Because even if they put a title on Drew McIntyre this year, I don't think they're going to do it at WrestleMania. So. It's tough. I think as far as people that wouldn't be a surprise to even be involved in it at all, Seth Rollins is somebody to look for. On the women's side, I feel like I have no idea what's going to happen with the women's Royal Rumble. I just feel like I've got to even try to pick it would be if I had to pick it, I would say Carmella's going to win.
Yeah.
Carmella's going to win the Rumble because she's coming out 30th and she's been a champion before. So I think she's going to win.
I agree. I agree. Are you pulling the trigger on Seth Rollins though? That's your pick?
Yeah, I think if I have to pick it on the men's side, that's the guy I'm going to pick.
Gotta pick.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm going to pick.
As of a little over a week out, right? So
yeah,
picks might change.
Things might change. We could find out he's not even going to be involved for some reason. But
things might change. But my pick as of today is Drew McIntyre.
I think it's legit. Like, I don't think it's a bad pick at all. Like I said, I think, I don't know that I would want to see Drew McIntyre in the main event at WrestleMania, but obviously Vince is in love with the guy. His in-ring work isn't bad. For a big man, he moves really well. The Claymore kick is an athletic move, a feat of acrobatics. So he's fun to watch. I'm not trying to say I don't like his in-ring work or anything. It's just he's not my prototypical favorite type of wrestler. But I think that's a good pick too. It's a good pick too. But anyway, man, I appreciate you doing this with me. I think this is where we leave it. I don't, unless this is something else you want to say or something else you want to get out there.
Yeah.
We forgot.
And I don't want to overshadow anything. It's just part of this, and I think it's important that we do talk about it. We got to get away from this garbage that's going on with Naomi and
oh yeah.
The
women's wrestling's come too far for that.
This is taking, and I can't even think of her name right now. Why am I blanking on this?
Mandy Rose?
Mandy Rose or whatever.
Yeah.
This is two steps back from where this is trash television. It's not wrestling. It's not what I turn on the TV for.
No.
Something that it's important. Get rid of this. This is garbage.
Yeah.
Don't want to see this on my TV anymore.
Especially with how we've said the women's division it's the best right now. It's certainly the best it's ever been. It's better than the men's division. I don't think that's too controversial of an opinion. And yeah, that kind of stuff on television, I know with some wrestling fans, they want to see that stuff. I'm a part of a few wrestling groups on Facebook, and I don't judge anybody. Like, I have eyes too, and I know an attractive woman when I see one. You know what I mean? I'm not judging anybody for thinking these women are attractive or anything, but I know some people are a fan of this type of stuff on TV and on wrestling, and I'm right with you. I think that it delegitimizes the best part of the product right now.
Yeah, that's I don't ever want to see them working that angle. I think Naomi is a great wrestler.
Yes.
I don't know much about Mandy Rose or whatever. I haven't seen her in ring stuff that much. I know she's really athletic.
Yeah.
And obviously, yes, these women are attractive. That's the whole. I mean, they are attractive but also dominant athletes, these stars. We do not have to go back to the days when we're just simply I don't even know. It's just garbage. It's garbage.
Back when women's wrestling was not about the wrestling.
Correct. Yeah. Well, we have a show now where we have women wrestlers. I want to see women wrestlers. I want to see these superstars actually doing what they're good at, not parading around for these people that are, watching the show for that. If you're watching the show for that, if that's what you like about wrestling, I think you're not really getting the point of it. So
no, you're not. And like, there's a lot of guys I know, because we're getting to the age where we know a lot of people with kids. And I have a friend who takes his like 7-8-year-old daughter to wrestling all the time because it's not like wrestling actually, like, there's this, it's stupid, but there's this like thing that when you're critiquing a movie from a feminist angle, there's a thing where, like, if two female characters speak to each other about anything other than another male character, then the movie passes the test.
Yeah,
it's called the Bechdel test or something like that. And like 85% of movies fail that test. Movies you would be surprised failed it. Like really good movies that are like highbrow cinema that fail this test, right?
Yeah.
But wrestling passes it consistently. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of my point, is that like I have a buddy and I have friends that like take their daughters to wrestling because it's not what it used to be anymore, and the women wrestlers are just as important as the male wrestlers, and it's fake. I know it's fake, but it's an athletic thing where the women, it's like soccer. Women's soccer at the World Cup level is just as good as watching the Men's World Cup. I watched the Women's World Cup and I watched the Men's World Cup, and I think they're both great. Women's wrestling is right on that level, and I would like it to stay a place where, like, if you have a daughter, you can take her and be like, yeah, you can be a champion. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
We need more Becky Lynch. We need more Charlotte. Yes. We need more Bayley. We need more Sasha. We need more Nia. We need more Ronda Rousey. We don't need this Mandy Rose character that they're doing right now. Her as a person, I don't think this is her. This is just the writing.
No, this is the writing. Yeah, no, her as a person, I don't want to say anything about like that, and I know you don't either. This is the writing, and it's lazy writing, and it's a bad angle that undoes a lot of good work.
Yeah. So that's my last bit about that, though. That's just
no. Thank you for mentioning that, because you're absolutely right. You're 100% right. So
yeah.
Well, hey man, thanks for coming on with me. We'll have to do this again after Royal Rumble.
Definitely.
Like, yeah, after Royal Rumble, we'll do it again. We'll talk about what we think the state of things are. There's still a few things that I wanted to talk to you about that we never got to, and that's good, because we'll talk again, and I'll talk to you about that. I want to know what you thought your favorite pay-per-view of 2018 was, and we'll talk again in like 2 weeks or something, and you can tell me. So
sounds good.
Right. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
All right. See you, man.